Madam Chair. First up is our County Manager, Frank Abbate. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. First and foremost, I'd like to start by recognizing and expressing my utmost appreciation for the tremendous personal commitments of time, the dedication and efforts that each of you, as well as our natural resources staff and, of course, Virginia, have made to support the Citizens Oversight Committee in its mission to recommend updates to the Save Our Indian River Lagoon project plan to the Board of County Commissioners, as well as serving as public oversight for fostering implementation of less costly and more timely tools and techniques for the restoration of our Indian River Lagoon. I want to take the opportunity to share with you this morning how personally important the Indian River Lagoon restoration is to me. In the early 1990s, I used to enjoy clamming in the Banana River with my father. I cherish those times that we shared using our feet to locate clams. And as you know, those days are gone for at least the last 10 or 15 years. I fished in the river every week for years with my son. His love for the Indian River Lagoon drove him and several of his closest friends to fish competitively. So competitively that they formed a team while they were in middle school and through high school years. And it really has influenced their lives very, very significantly. During that period of time, they also were involved in a variety of community service activities related to the lagoon, because it was that important to all of us. They were involved in monofilament recycling, mangrove restoration, Brazilian pepper tree, and that was during 2002, 2006, 2007. I have two daughters. Both those daughters spent a combined 8 years as coxswains for Space Coast crew, enjoying the beauty of all the Indian River Lagoon has had to offer. I can tell you that it's substantially influenced their lives, and that has impacted me very substantially. My son is in the Coast Guard. He's 11 years in there as a coxswain, a search and rescue. One of the other teammates on their team ended up becoming a maritime lawyer. A third one currently is a charter captain down in Hawks Cay. So I could see the connection that the Indian River Lagoon has played in all their lives. Today, I take my grandson fishing in the Banana River multiple times every week, and I mean that, multiple times every week. He's 5 years old. He loves it. I want to see the lagoon restored so future generations can experience all the natural beauty and benefits that the Indian River Lagoon can provide. Simply put, the Indian River Lagoon has been a critically important part of my entire family's lives. When I became the county manager in 2017, I established 5 priorities for our organization to focus on. The first one was inclusiveness, that is being open to listening to what everyone had to say, and then of course us being responsive. A way for us to show, I believe, and it's worked very successfully from my perspective, that you respect others when you respond to them in a very timely manner, and that was and remains a top priority for us as an organization. Road infrastructure, whether it was repaving, what we do with reconstruction, and hopefully in the future addressing capacity issues is the second of those 5 priorities. The third one that we've discussed, and we always discuss, is our Indian River Lagoon and its restoration. Employee development, succession planning, and training is an important one. And finally, the 5th one is employee compensation issues that we have. Ever since that time, back in May of 2017, the consistent and repeated messaging of these priorities is something I'm confident that all our directors and senior leadership can and will attest to. We talk about these priorities either directly or indirectly at our director meetings twice a month. These priorities have become a part of our organizational culture. They are reemphasized at public speaking engagements, and they're shared in other media platforms to get the word out to the public, including the annual county manager's budget message, which just recently came out. In addition to what you see and hear about in these Citizens Oversight Committee meetings, I want to assure you that county staff, and especially our senior leadership team, is unequivocally supportive and fully engaged in supporting lagoon-related restoration and improvement activities. I'm grateful to be able to take a few moments of your valuable time this morning to share some of the types of activities that the County Manager's Office, as well as other departments, are engaged in that are intended to enhance and add to the lagoon cleanup efforts. A comprehensive county and environmental compliance and pollution prevention program was created by administrative order in September of 2015. A countywide pollution prevention team was tasked with, among other things, identifying potential pollution sources, preventing pollution at its source, planning, preparing for spills and accidental releases, and training employees annually on stormwater pollution and spill prevention controls and countermeasures. Key departments that are under this administrative order include natural resources, which takes the lead in it, utilities, solid waste, central services, fire rescue, public works, transit, and risk management. You'll note that it's a representative cross-section of our organization. At this time, after having been in existence for about 3 years now, this administrative order is currently under review by Natural Resources to assure that it's fine-tuned in a way that helps us meet the important objectives that I've referred to. A countywide septic moratorium ordinance and the ordinance that was subsequently adopted was coordinated with Natural Resources, the county's Planning and Development Department, city managers, city building officials, and the Florida Department of Health in support of the goals of the Save Our Indian River Lagoon program to reduce the impacts of septic systems on the lagoon and its water quality. For North Merritt Island, a small area plan and stormwater model is moving forward with coordination among our Planning and Development Department, Public Works, and Natural Resources Management to improve knowledge and management of stormwater on North Merritt Island. Brevard's petroleum cleanup program has been expanded to 5 counties along the Indian River Lagoon: Brevard, Indian River, St. Lucie, Martin, and Okeechobee. This allows county staff funded by state contract dollars to remediate petroleum and other hazardous waste leaks and spills along most of the length of the Indian River Lagoon. During the last year, the County Manager's Office, utilities, and Natural Resources have worked collaboratively to discuss sewer-related challenges, including inflow and infiltration issues, wastewater treatment plant issues relating to capacity and reuse water. When red tide approached the East Coast a short while back ago, just a few months ago, the County Manager's Office coordinated with the Florida Fish and Wildlife, Natural Resources, Public Safety, including fire rescue, emergency management, Parks and Rec, and our tourism office, as well as Keep Brevard Beautiful, and other partners to proactively develop plans that were implemented to address red tide issues, including cleanup, benefiting from lessons that we learned during the 2016 fish kill. Emergency management has followed up and developed an agile bloom response plan that was implemented this November, establishing plans and procedures that coordinate efforts among appropriate agencies to prepare for, respond to, and recover from the impacts of harmful algal blooms. This information was shared with countywide emergency management coordinators at their quarterly meeting earlier this week, so it's very recent. County Manager's Office staff, myself included, have met repeatedly with Natural Resources staff to coordinate and address PFOA and PFOS issues that have been raised during the last several months, and I believe that staff has responded in a very responsible and appropriate way, remaining sensitive to community concerns on the questions that are associated with those contaminants. Dredge material management areas have been and continue to be another important focus that gets a lot of our attention. Every quarter, I, together with Virginia and Assistant County Manager John Denninghoff, meet with our internal auditors to review what has been going on with the Citizens Oversight Committee and Save Our Indian River Lagoon projects. In addition, every quarterly report that's issued by our Public Information Officer, Don Walker, focuses on lagoon and utility-related projects and undertakings. In terms of responsiveness, I can tell you that I don't let any, and I mean this sincerely, I don't let any contracts or other agreements relating to the Indian River Lagoon project sit on my desk without being reviewed and processed within 2 workdays, and typically it's done on the same day that I receive it. I share this information with you this morning to emphasize that both personally and organizationally, we're deeply committed to this critical initiative. We are not involved in a single focal point, but a multifaceted approach to supporting efforts to move the entire family of Indian River Lagoon restoration initiatives forward. In closing, we are grateful to work in close partnership with you to do everything we possibly can to fully restore the lagoon as quickly and as cost-effectively as possible, consistent with the will of the voters. Let me close by once again thanking each one of you for the extremely valuable service that you provide to us as members of the Citizens Oversight Committee, and thanks for this opportunity to speak before you this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you.